Hey, what's up, y'all? Good afternoon. Been a couple days here now. Good to be back on here. Got a lot going on. Always a lot going on. Big things happening, just busy beavers around here. You know, getting all the trees cut down around the house. So I had a little break here. The guys are out catching lunch. Got, and I'm not gonna put these guys out there because I know that the head guy doesn't want a lot of advertising done. So, um, I'll hit him up and see what he thinks about it. But I'm not gonna put any names out there because I know he's a busy guy too. We're all just really busy. So anyway, here we are. We got a few things going on today that are a little bit disturbing. We're gonna start off with coffee, okay? Chinese coffee, for that matter. There's a reporter's name is Christopher Balding, okay, and he has come out today with a story about smart coffee makers and how they're stealing your information. They're collecting data. So if you're staying at a hotel and you're using, I've never even seen what these things are. I don't know. You all probably know more about them than I do. Excuse me. However, they are collecting your data, and they can, they're getting everything. I mean, if you're using apparently through your card, you can probably scan your forehead now, use your vaccine passport. I don't know how everybody's paying for things out there now, but it's pretty swifty, pretty shady. The name of the brand is CalArm, and apparently these things are just totally ringing up all your data and just throwing it in a database, I guess. Not that our government isn't doing that as well, allegedly. If you ask James Clapper, though, he'll tell you the truth. You can always trust Clapper because the NSA was not spying on you, allegedly, willfully, or with any knowledge of that. So, just keep that squared up, And the other one that they said the reason that, Trump was so, so much against the whole TikTok thing was because it does the same thing, basically. And I don't doubt that Crap Chat does the same thing as well, because I could, if you want to know, hit me up and I'll shoot you towards or I can tell you exactly, if you're a crap chatter, I can tell you how you can figure it out, and it's pretty terrifying. I got rid of mine as soon as I saw that. I had somebody that was younger say, "Oh, you need to get Crap Chat," and so I got the Crap Chat, and I didn't know what the Crap Chat was, and then I kind of looked into it. I was like, this Crap Chat this is kind of weird. And if you guys remember, there was a certain comedian out there that, I don't want to say his name either, but he got kind of called out on a podcast where they said, well, that this stuff doesn't go away. And he's like, what? Started freaking out. He realized, uh-oh. So anyway, watch out for these smart coffee machines. Now, I don't understand. I've not been anywhere since the Rona. Once the Rona hit, it's pretty much been like, go nowhere, which has sucked, but it is what it is. So anyway, just watch out for them. If you hear Saw start going to, then we'll just ignore that, okay? So the next thing I wanted to go to, we're going to talk a little bit about Corinne Jean-Pierre. I mean, that has been a complete and utter tire fire. She can't do it. She is not cut out for this work. She's got to read off that card 100% of the time. Like, she can't just get up there and go off the cuff. I mean, Peppermint Patty was really mundane, and she said reiterate. I would hesitate to even garner a word count on how many times she said reiterate, walk it back, circle back. She hated Peter Ducey. Everybody does, though, because he I think Corinne Jean-Pierre probably has nightmares about Peter Ducey at night. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she doesn't. But I mean, she's just totally confirming that Biden's going to run in 24, which is absolutely hilarious. I mean, this guy has not done anything but just completely. I mean, it's been just a. What's he done? One thing. Anybody. Bueller. Somebody tell me. What's the guy done? He's done nothing. How has he helped you out? Tell me. He come rake your leaves. He could give you a little voucher for your groceries. Come fill your tank up. Like I keep saying, and this is my thing right now. If I had anything to do with any kind of a lawmaking body that had any influence in this country whatsoever, the first law, and there we go, of course, within 15 minutes, you know the camera's going to go out. We just know that, people. What I would be doing is putting a bill on the floor to say, I don't know what we would call it, grounded. Biden is grounded. Unless he pays for his own, no ass, no gas, no grass, no ride. So if homie can't fuel up the fucking Air Force One on his own with his own little card, because he's got the money to do it, right? I mean, the dude made 15 mil, his first 2 years out of the vice presidency. I mean, how you think he got those? I gotta give stealing from Bill Burr here, so I'm gonna give him credit for it. But how do you think he got those ant legs stapled into his head for those hair implants? That's a Bill Burr joke. It's not mine, so I can't take credit for it. That's all Bill Burr. So, and then she's on there with that. What's his name? That goofball, that Don Lemon. I mean, talk about a lemon. I mean, that guy is a fucking lemon. I mean, he's the biggest lemon that there is out there, man. I mean, what a perfect name. And then he's asking her, she's like, well, just look what he's doing. He's just trying to do this for the people. I can't even keep up with him. He's moving so fast. He damn near fell up the stairs again the other day. I guess that's moving fast when you're going fast when you're falling up the stairs. I guess that's one way to look at it. I suppose. You'd be falling up those stairs, man. You motherfuckers faster than the Flash. Shit. Come on. I mean, these people they're delusional. I mean, you just look at the numbers. That's all you have to do. I mean, life is math, I mean, so much of our life is mathematics. And I was trying to explain this to somebody the other day. We were talking about we were talking about relationships. And I was explaining how no matter what you do mathematically, if you're talking about multiplication, if you take a negative number and you multiply it by a positive number, it doesn't matter how big that positive number is. The sum is going to be a negative number. I mean, there's just no way around it. That's what you're going to get. And so, that's kind of what and I've made this mistake, and I've learned this the hard way. It's like you cannot take somebody that is a negative person and anticipate or expect that you're going to be able to change that trajectory. What's going to happen is you're going to get drawn down in it, and it's going to fuck you all up until you get out of the relationship. And that's why relationships are so sticky. That's why I don't really believe that marriage is such a good idea. That's why I waited 40 years to do that, and it only lasted a couple of years, and then that was that. So, enough about that. This is what's happening with the whatever you want to call the guy, the dude, the the Scranton Comet. He's moving so fast. The Scranton Comet. I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I remember what it was like when I eat Salisbury steak and cube minute steaks and hot dogs. Drink hot dog water. We didn't have milk. We put hot dog water on our cereal, and we liked it. I mean, that's what we got going here. And the dude is, I mean, to say he's going to run to 24 is absolutely hilarious. And we got the whole shit show going on with the January 6th thing. I mean, does anybody care about that shit? I heard him today, okay? they said, I was listening to it live. Okay, I was out in the garage. I'm working on a Husky string trimmer, trying to do a carburetor fix on that thing. Got it going. And then peeling apart my son's dirt bike motor, getting the crank pulled out of that thing and the crank case. And I'm sitting there listening to this thing, and they're talking about how the guys must be back. I can hear them outside. Anyway, they're talking about how police died that day on January 6th. How police died. There wasn't any police that died in that scenario. There was the one officer that had a heart attack later, and he was already gone. So I'm sorry for the noise. You're just gonna have to muddle through it. But he had a stroke after the fact. Now, could that have been caused by who knows what? I don't know. No, we got people knocking on the door apparently. All right. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted here now. And it happens every fucking time. It doesn't matter. I put the light on and it doesn't matter. So anyway, here we go. Now I just completely lost where I was at, so I apologize, folks. Stupid fucking message goes off and I gotta fucking stop and look at the goddamn thing. I just need to turn this fucking phone off. Jesus Christ. Anyhow. Now I'm trying to remember where we were even at. Anyway, we're just talking about Biden. You got Hunty. He's in the middle of shit all the time. And the fact that Biden thinks he's going to run, I don't know. And we're talking about the 6th. There was no cops that died. Okay, one police officer had a stroke afterwards. Like I said, maybe the stress of the incident caused that. I would say that he probably had underlying health conditions. We still haven't gone and looked into why the other cop just decided to unload on that Air Force veteran and shoot her in the neck, and he had a predisposition to acting a little bit nutty in the past. Nothing was brought up about that. Nothing really has been brought up. Nobody spoke about it. Excuse me. And then so you go back to the date that they that the New York Times actually had to come out and the Washington Post and say that Hunter's laptop was real. Do you know how much time that the major news networks have spent on that since that realization came out? After they'd smeared everybody, said it was Russian misinformation, blah 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 blah. 5 minutes, and I got this from BCP. Thanks, BCP. Shout out to you, brother. It was like 298 seconds or something like that. Roughly 300 seconds in all this time. We are in the middle of June right now. Okay? We're over halfway through June. We're almost to the longest day of the year. This came out in mid-March. That they had to acknowledge it. And now they've spent 5 whole minutes with all these networks. We're talking NBC, ABC, CNN, MSDNC, all these different news outlets. To me, that's kind of news. I mean, when you sit there, maybe they just don't like to do retractions or eat crow or realize that they're wrong or realize that or show everybody that they're the liars that they are. I mean, quite frankly, let's just face it. I mean, how much misinformation have you gotten this year? And it's crazy that the people that are actually putting out the real information are the ones that they're the ones that are getting the proverbial lock inside the sock. Now that's what used to happen in prison. Guy takes a master lock, drops it in a sock. Fuck you up. I've been taken down for 3 weeks. I'm nobody. A guy that I've been watching a lot of lately is Jackson Hinkle, and he got banned off of Venmo and PayPal, which is the way that he makes his money. I mean, that's where he has a lot of his payments coming through, and this is a guy that's coming up. He's a youngster, but he's very professional, but he's got I like Jackson a lot. I'd like to talk with that dude because he's got a foul mouth, kind of like me, and he does tell it how it is. But he's got this professionalism about him. And for being 22 years old, at 22, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I mean, not even close. I mean, I would have had fun with it, but it wouldn't have been anything like what he's doing. So, shout out to you, Jackson. You're doing a great job. The people from Redacted, I recently started watching their show, and they've been beat up. BCP, he's been beat up. Jimmy Dore's always right on the cusp of everything. Same with Mate and Blumenthal and all everybody that's putting out the real information is getting hit. I mean, this is people's livelihoods. I'm new to the game. I'm nobody. As of this point in time. Now, I don't. That's not gonna be the way it's gonna be forever. I'm gonna keep coming at it. I'm gonna keep going at it. Keep doing my best. To bring information to you and just be real with everybody. That's neither here nor there. Doesn't matter. I'm not doing this because I'm trying to get any accolades or anything like that. I just feel that this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And so it is. So we go. So anyway, break it down. We got the Chinese coffee thing. So watch out, folks. If you're out there and you're on the road, you're staying in hotels, staying at those choice comfort, whatever, super califragilistic. God, don't get me going on that. Mary Poppins. Anyway, we've got pregnancy centers that are burning down. That's good. No one's doing anything about that. We still haven't really heard much about what happened with the whole thing with Kavanaugh. We've got a Supreme Court justice who had a murder plot put out against him, on him by some ding-dong, leftist from California that drove all the way out to Washington, D.C. and ended up in Maryland, where Kavanaugh lives, and he had I believe he had a Glock 19, I think, allegedly. Sounded like he had a hammer, screwdriver, zip ties, duct tape, a knife. Basically everything that looks like somebody would be carrying with them to, abduct somebody and murder them in the woods, or just murder them right. I don't know. I mean, it looked like. When you got the zip ties and the duct tape, it doesn't look like you're just going in to just pull off straight murder. It's like, to me, that's like premeditated abduction, and like he was going to take him out in the woods or someplace and do awful things and then supposedly kill himself. And this guy is pro gun control. This dude that did this, pro gun control. Okay, just keep that in mind. So, keep that in mind. And then Hunty comes out and he's talking about the fact that Joey, he tells his I don't even know what you would call her, his mistress, but also his dead brother's widowed wife, who threw his ill-gotten gun in a full dumpster across the street from a grocery store and a high school. The gun that he got by filling out the background check paperwork and falsifying it, which is punishable by 10 years up to 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. And the text messages that he sent to her, they've been released. No one's talking about those either, are they? No one's talking about that. He says, "Oh, great, thanks, Haley," or however you say it, Hallie, whatever. He's like, Dad's got 5 guns in his house, and your son's room looks like an arsenal, or whatever. However he phrased it, you can look it up and read the damn thing. But he's basically coming out and talking about all the, that it's okay that they all own all these guns, but they want to take yours away from you. Why does Joe Biden need 5 guns? In the first one, well, he likes to go hunting. Nah, it's hypocritical bullshit. It's hanky bullshit. I mean, and these people just operate with impunity. There's nobody out there is even talking about any of this. They just get to do whatever they want, and everybody just kind of goes, well, it's the Biden family. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I'll probably get copyrighted for that. I mean, they just get to get, hey, hop on Air Force One, Air Force Two, Air Force Three. No more of it. I say, ground him. Ground Joe Biden. No more. He wants to go to Delaware for his weekends. I guarantee that dude don't have an electric car. I guarantee he doesn't have an electric car. Those fucking things that he's driving around with the Secret Service, maybe those things are like flex fuel or something like that. But I can tell you right now, you guys hear that chainsaw? That sounds mean, doesn't it? You got to see the size of the tree out there that they're cutting down. It's like an 80-foot cottonwood. Yeah, listen to that thing. They're going to town. Now, these dudes are good. It's been fun watching them work. Anyway, that's just kind of crazy. The pregnancy centers that they're burning down, they basically come out. These leftists have said that basically these pregnancy centers where, from what I gather, is where a female goes when she wants to have a child rather than having an abortion. So they're calling these clinics anti-abortion. Well, isn't that part of choice? I mean, if you've got the choice to go to Planned Parenthood or an abortion clinic, then shouldn't you also have the choice to not do that? I mean, I would think that these people would look at that as being a pro-choice deal. I mean, because there you have an option. You know what I'm saying? You have a choice between, do I want to have an abortion as a female or do I want to have the child? And if I want to have the child and I don't have the support of anybody else, then at least maybe I can get some support here to do that because that's my choice. I mean, to me, that's pro-choice. Is it not? I mean, if you have only one option, which would be Planned Parenthood, which pushes abortion, they do. I mean, look at Margaret Sanger, the founder of it. I mean, she was a eugenicist. It was all about eugenics. And if you don't believe me on that, then do your homework. Look her up. Find out what she was all about. She was not a very good person. I mean, she was pretty fucking nutty. So, I mean, that's kind of a bummer, I mean, where's Merrick Garland on this? He ain't doing shit. They want to go and they want to do all this shit about the insurrection on the 6th. Well, what insurrection? They didn't do shit. They went and walked through the fucking Capitol. They yelled and screamed a bunch of dumb shit. Some people did some dumb things. Yes. I'd say the people the dude that was lighting the camera gear and all that shit on fire out front. Okay. That dude, prosecute the shit out of him. Buffalo Boy, maybe. I don't know. I think he should just be at a psych ward, I think, to tell you the truth. But not my call, apparently. And you got Ray Epps. He's just sitting down there. I mean, he incited the whole thing. He's sitting there screaming and yelling at these youngsters, getting them all wound up. Where's he at? He's down there having weddings every weekend at his ranch in fucking Arizona. Went from number 16 on the FBI's most wanted list to just doing his thing, riding around in his golf cart, telling the media he doesn't want to talk. What's up, Ray Epps? What'd you have to do with this, dude? What'd you have to do with this? Come on, dude. I mean, you don't want to talk to you sure didn't mind grandstanding on those cameras before the damn thing went off. I mean, he's sitting there yelling at all these people, and then when it went down, he's nowhere to be found. A guy on the scaffold. What happened to him? Who put these guys there? These were people that got these people wound up. And Pelosi knew it was coming. They knew it was coming. Trump wanted to have the National Guard sent in. And she was like, no, she's the one in charge of all this shit. She knew it was coming. Why? They wanted it to happen. Because that was their way of doing exactly what they're doing right now. They're terrified as hell that Trump's going to run again in 24. And I don't know that he will. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Everybody's saying that he's going to. I don't know. I mean, part of me says that he might just put everything, he might just make everybody think that and put everything behind a candidate like DeSantis or something. Because I think if DeSantis were to run, he would not have, much of a problem. I mean, That dude's pretty much been right on point. And people want to fabricate the stuff and gaslight, make up shit about what he's, the don't say gay bill. Nowhere in the bill does it even say the word gay anywhere. It says kindergartners through third graders should be inundated with this bullshit. If you think they should be, then you know what? You're a shithead. There ain't no reason that any kindergartner needs to go into school and sit there and get inundated by a blue-haired teacher that goes by the term they. I don't even understand that pronoun. I don't get that at all. Well, how do you, so, like, do you say, when you refer to somebody as a they, do you, I mean, if it's your teacher, because, I mean, when I was a kid, it was always Mr. or Mrs. or Miss. It turned into Miss later. Like when I started school, if you were married, it was Mrs. If you weren't married and you were female, it was Miss. That's just how it was. I'm not saying any way or the other. Now, all the teachers that are female are Miss. Whatever. I don't know. That's just the way we were raised. It was like, and a teacher would correct you. Like if you had a teacher that wasn't married and you called her Mrs. Johnson, it's Miss Johnson. And they would explain to you why it was that way. It wasn't that they got all upset that, about anything. But, I mean, now we get upset about everything. So how do you refer to somebody who's your teacher if their pronoun is they? Do you raise your hand and go, they Johnson, they Johnson, they Johnson? Is that a, I mean, if you're writing a letter to somebody whose pronoun is they? Like if my pronoun was they, would somebody write me a letter and say, dear they file? How does that work? I guess I don't give a shit enough to even really look. But it sounds kind of goofy. Dear they something or other. I mean, what if it's one of those other weird ones? I mean, what are some of the other ones? There's some goofy ones out there. And like, I was talking with my mom about this last night. I don't care. I mean, if you transition one way or another and you want to go from being a he to she, that's fine. I'll call you, whichever way it goes. I don't mind that. I don't care. But I tell you what, I'm not going to take time out of my day to do is learn all these pronouns. I mean, I've never even really looked into it. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, now it's to the point where there's a lot of times I'll sign up for a service or something online, even an app, and they're like, well, what is your pronoun? I'm like, what is my dude? How about that? I mean, here's this one says there's 70. You got he, she, z, z, e, v, t, he, him, her, zim, z, z. Really? Who knows what the hell all that? What? Come on. And this I don't think it's even out there. I don't think they've even dialed this in because you've got what are the 72? What are the 50? What are the 52 genders? That's interesting. I would have thought. I mean, if there's 52 genders, it's kind of weird that I haven't screwed that one up yet one time. I mean, I've not putted from the rough ever, and I always thought there was 2. So if there's 52, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good batting average. Don't you think? Huh. Yeah. Now there's 100. What are the 4? Okay, now there's 4. There's 100. There's 52. There's third gender, 2-spirit, gender queer, pangender, agender, non-binary, gender neutral, and all, none, or a combination of these. There are many more gender identities than we've listed. This is from teentalk.ca. Let's bring this up here so everybody can see what we're looking at. Let's see what we're working with here. It is really something. I'll turn that off. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. This is just, out of curiosity. The Resource Center, this is from, I don't know which University of, don't send your kid there. College is done anyways. There's really no point in it. I don't see. I mean, you can get everything that you need right here on the old interwebs. And if that goes down, there's no college anymore anyways. I mean, I remember when I was in college, way back in the Stone Age, they started doing the email syllabus, right? So I didn't have a computer. I didn't have that much money. I hand wrote everything. So you'd go into the class and they'd say, well, check your email for the syllabus. And I'd always stay after on that first day, and I'd go up to the professor or whatever and say, hey, I would like a paper syllabus, please. And they say, just go print it off from your email. Like, no, I've paid for the class. I want a paper syllabus. I'm not going to go pay the 5 cents or whatever to print the thing off, and And I never I never turned in typewritten papers. I always hand wrote them. So I mean, if the whole thing went down, it'd be screwed anyways. Kids don't know how to write. My son, his handwriting is just the worst fucking thing I've ever seen on the planet. And I jump his ass, but then I see the way his friends and everybody else. I mean, I've seen it. These kids, they can't write. They're going to be in trouble. I mean, we got these, power outages. We have the grid go down. These kids are not, young people are not going to be able to communicate. I mean, it's just the way it is. And we've just come to believe that this technology is just going to always be there, and that it's just going to keep getting bigger and better. But I don't know. We've got, we've had huge floods out here. Yellowstone Park shut down. I mean, that's not only were we facing a huge hit in this part of the country with the tourism because of the gas and the inflation with everything. That was a big enough hit as it was, but now the place that everybody's coming to visit is shut down. They had to run everybody out of there. I mean, whole houses going in the water. It's crazy. We've had a really weird spring. I mean, it's the middle of June, and today's going to be our first day. It's supposed to hit 85 today. A lot of times, by the middle of June, I mean, we're pushing 100 every day. Sunny, blue skies, just hot summer day. We haven't had the heat. I mean, where I go out to ride my dirt bike, there's water out there in places that I've never seen water. Standing water, like lakes. Like, you could tell that at one point in time there was water there. Who knows how many thousands of years ago that was? Who knows? But I mean, it's been nuts. It's been cold. I mean, it's been a weird deal. I mean, the Earth's definitely going through something. I know that there's a lot of solar activity going on, or lack thereof. Maybe the aliens are going in there and they're dipping into the plasma of the sun. Maybe that's what all these UFO sightings are from. I don't know. But I think I made the illusion that I was going to keep it short earlier, so I will. That's just a little bit of what's going on. I think I'm going to come back later tonight and we'll do a rundown of the day, because there's definitely some interesting things that have gone on. I want to see if I can come up with a pronoun for myself. Profile. I don't know. I mean, they got this on this thing here. This is from the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. I mean, this is on pronouns, and they got a crisis support line on here. So if somebody calls you he or she, and that's not what you're about, then you got to go to this crisis support, because that's a crisis. I mean, I don't know. Let's just say, okay, here's the deal. From here on out, ladies and gentlemen, I identify as a 46-year-old uber wealthy gentleman from northern Wyoming. And I'm identifying as being worth $60 billion. I identify as having a couple of Lear jets, a Gulfstream. I also identify as having Airwolf. Remember Airwolf? I now identify as having Airwolf, and I identify as having the guy that was the pilot of Airwolf. And I also identify as having MacGyver as my gardener. Does that make it so? And it does, because that's how I identify. So if you don't refer to me as being that individual, then I'm going to crisis support on your ass. Savvy? Capiche? That's what I identify as. I'm going to go get my fucking helicopter now. Y'all did this now. It's on. It's on like bing bong. All right. I'm going to bounce out. I'm going to go hit the dirt for a little bit. It's hot out there. I'm going to go look at some antelope or something. Try and stay away from the rattlesnakes. Some of y'all probably hope I get bit by one, but I came about as close as I could the other day, and it didn't happen. So I've never been that close to being bit by a rattlesnake. That was scary, and it was the biggest one I've ever seen. It was huge, and I didn't have anything to do. I didn't have anything on me. All I had was my pocket knife, and I'm like, talk about a situation where you want to just jump up and fucking run away with your fucking hair on fire. But it had to be calm, just slow. Whew. I did not expect to see that. I was on jackass status that day. That was my pronoun that day. It was jackass. I wonder if that's one of the. That'd be great. I don't go by Mr. File anymore. You just call me jackass. I guess on that note, I guess we can just laugh about this shit. I mean, what else is there to do? You can only be angry so many hours out of the day. I guess you gotta have a little bit of time for laughter. So on that note, I'm gonna sign off. 52 miles east of Yellowstone Park in Cody, Wyoming. You've been tuned into the Mike Files. As we say around here, be good at it. In all things be kind and do no harm. Peace out, y'all.